Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I was supposed to upload the next episode of quarantine content, but then Netflix dropped their new film, and since it's the biggest title to come out ever since the global quarantine started, I decided to review this first. Stay until the end of this video for a special sneak peek of episode 5 though. But if you like gunfights, gore and Golshifteh Farahani, catch the latest Netflix original film which started streaming this Friday. My name is Tipu Sultan and here's my review of Extraction. Extraction stars Chris Hemsworth as Aussie mercenary Tyler Rake, who is sent on a deadly mission to rescue the kidnapped son of an Indian drug lord from Dhaka. The film marks the directorial debut of Sam Hargrave, longtime stunt coordinator for the Russo brothers, with a screenplay by Joe Russo, adapted from a graphic novel written by both brothers. And so, the deep-seated comic book and action roots of the story are one of the first things you'll notice about this film. Extraction is a relentless, pulse-pounding assault on the senses that goes light on the story and characters but attempts to make up for it with some heavy-duty action. I won't say that this was one of my most anticipated films of the year, but I was intrigued by the idea of Thor rampaging through the bylanes of the Indian subcontinent when I saw the trailer. And honestly, with all the other films shoved off indefinitely, I'll take whatever comes my way. Sam Hargrave fully utilizes his background as a stunt person to craft incredible hand-to-hand choreography as well as explosive bursts of some kick-ass gun fu. I mean, the John Wick influence is pretty obvious here, and while Hemsworth may be no Keanu, he's solid as the gruff Aussie growler who just jumps into the action without warning. But where the film truly gets interesting is when Hemsworth meets his foil, played by a belligerent yet solemn Randeep Hooda. As the other guy sent to pick up the kid, his character Saju crosses paths with Tyler, and the two men engage in one of the most impressive action sequences I've seen in a long time. And that brings me to what is by far the best thing about Extraction, that long take. It comes at the climax of the film's first act and is a 12-minute long continuous shot which sees Tyler and Saju go all out with guns, knives, fists and trucks while being hounded by scores of Bangladeshi SWAT soldiers. All of that in a single cutlass shot captured by a kinetic camera that glides and zips and changes vehicles along the warpath that these men tread with unreal seamlessness. Of course, you can sometimes make out where two takes were possibly stitched together, but this has got to be one of my most favorite action oneers in a long time. But the thing that really sells the action as well as the film is the conviction of the actors, which just sears through the flaky material. In particular, Randeep Hooda, who just becomes a completely different beast in the role of the anti-hero hot on the tail of Hemsworth. He may have a hokey backstory, but he sells it solely by his charisma, as well as the few lines of dialogue that he spews with a clenched jaw. Meanwhile, the rest of the ensemble is fairly serviceable too, including Hemsworth playing the troubled mercenary trope, who does seem to lack the heart or the affable charm of his Thor character. Ever since I heard that Chris Hemsworth was making an action film in the subcontinent being produced by the Russos, I was intrigued by what the project would look like. I was really interested in knowing what they would do with the different locations and hopefully how different it would look from your regular cruise into an exotic faraway land. But Hollywood stereotyping didn't disappoint, and of course, Hemsworth was submerged in a world blasted with turmeric yellow and populated by a faceless army of Kalashnikov-bearing teens. But the truly weird part about Extraction's color palette politics is how, when he's indoors with a white person, the colors return to their normal saturated reds. But at the same time, the villains are still seen in a warmer setting. Of course, this is a stylistic choice, and there isn't much to be read from Hargrave's aesthetic decisions, but I was kind of hoping that we'd be done with such exotification in 2020. But white balancing issues are the least of Extraction's problems, since the film suffers from a John Wick hangover in more ways than making inventive use of random props as deadly weapons. The film's flimsy plot is spread thin over its 2-hour runtime and riddled with cliches and genre tropes that it surprisingly adheres to rather diligently. And unlike a John Wick, where imbibing the trope into the story world is the first step to subverting it, Extraction remains awkwardly committed to seeing its cliches through. And so, while the generic nature of Extraction provides ample opportunity to take countless point-blank headshots, it fails to make use of its talented cast and skilled technicians to create a wholesomely rewarding cinematic experience. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty to enjoy in Extraction. It's a breezy ride through a yellow hell filled with buckets of gore and explosions and some genuinely exhilarating moments. And that's about it. My rating for Sam Hargrave's Extraction is 3.4 out of 5. It's a fun, energetic film that I was happy to watch once on a lazy, quarantined afternoon. So guys, this was my Extraction review. I hope you liked it. Please share and subscribe. And watch this space for more quarantine content coming out soon. Stay home, stay safe, and Ramadan Mubarak. Until next time, ciao.